It's very important that whatever you suggest to add in terms of the text is captured in an outcome. That was the whole basis of everything. Secondly, it said suggest more recommendations. You could think about less recommendations, combining things, right? And making it more streamlined. I think there's some repetition in the recommendations right now. You know, just clean and clear path forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hattie. I don't know whether I heard you, but I wasn't listening, that's for sure. But I am sure the people were listening. Sorry, I was, attending to something small, but I last heard when you were talking about backing modifications with evidence, okay? Mm. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So I think in the discussions, they can suggest and also lead us to the evidence. Give us notes of like, how do you find the evidence? If the evidence is resident in, raising voices, then you can catch up with them, get it, and use it to. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Because you already have the documents. Mm-hmm. Okay. Kati, the report is starting to get to be ours. Don't worry. Let us think and get the information as much as we can, because eventually I know you have the responsibility to finalize it, but we don't want to lock out some ideas. So let's be open-minded to what they're suggesting, and then we'll see how to use that information, because it's speaking to what is there and what can be different. So these are the groups. Everyone is somewhere. including our donors. And you can let us know whether you feel like the donors can be excused or they can join. How do you feel? Hope it's okay? Yeah, we are free-spirited. And I mean, it's part of learning, you know. Whether you're going to go and say this thing is useless, it is okay. We learn from failure. So you overhaul and say the findings are, it is fine. Because, I mean, when you're not open, then you're not learning, because then you're just saying what others want to hear. So thank you very much for approving that they remain. So this is going to be the group composition. And in our earlier instructions, we are suggesting that each group can choose to type out key comments on a computer or write them on a flip chart. Okay? So there is a lot of flexibility. And the assignment is that each group is looking at one objective and all groups are looking at all recommendations with the intention of refining the recommendations but also adding anything that's missing in the recommendations. Okay, is the group instruction clear? Who'd like to be the team leader for group 1? Normally what I like about leadership is that you make people do things the way I am doing now. And the only problem is that when they don't do things properly, you are the one responsible. Okay, I was being reminded that you can also use your laptops to read the reports, but we also have a few copies. Okay, so anyone who is ready to lead any group, just making sure that that discussion is flowing and also capturing the final comments for each objective or any recommendation. What is agreed? The Susans are the leaders or the number ones on the list are the leaders? For her, she qualifies in all both aspects. So for her, she's already. And then now we go to the next two. Group number 2. Okay, maybe I need some help. So we had, so we are on group number 2. Thank you. And group number 3. Group number 3. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so we would like to leave it to each group to find where they can sit. The materials are here, but you also have that report on your computers. So you can also advise me on how much time you need for this. Initially, we had thought that you could maybe use up to 3:30. Right now, it's 2:20. So if you work on this up to 3:30, then we'll have 1 hour to look at the feedback from each group. Do you want to keep it like that, or you would like us to extend the group discussion up to 4 o'clock? We try 3:30 and then we can check on the progress. Okay, so the team leader of group 1, where would you like your team to sit? Okay, group 1 is remaining here. Group number 2. Yes, please. Yes. Oh, I haven't. So group 1 is looking at, did you have a preference of an objective? Okay. Group 1 is handling objective number 1, group 2 objective number 2, and group 3 objective number 3. I have the documents here, and we can also read the report from our laptops. Group number 2, you're sitting. Maybe I can see you off. I'll find you there. Not as a very active participant, though. And then group number 3, where would you like to sit, please? Mr. Kudedi, they are taking over your leadership. The poolside. On the ocean. There's also an AC there. Because I know people are keen on sitting in cool places, yeah? Also, the restaurant was like long, so you can share probably. And I think why I'm asking is because I would like that people start moving. This is group 2. Yeah, this is group. And I'll come and find out whether you need flip chart or you're going to use a laptop. Three is going to the restaurant as well.
knew I was
We are waiting for a few members from the last group. They'll be coming in soon. As they come in, I would kindly request you to suggest how we can proceed. It is almost 4:15, and we had planned to stop at 4:30. So I wouldn't want us to start the group presentations and then they go on when people are exhausted. So we can think of how we can share the feedback and agree as a team on how we share this feedback. There are options. There could be an option of, us collecting that feedback and then sharing the highlights tomorrow morning, or that the groups present tomorrow morning and we adjust the program a little bit. But there could also be other options in the room, extending the day today. So how should we handle this? Okay, so the first option was to get the written feedback, and then tomorrow we start with the sharing of the key highlights.
I suggest we try to keep them short, but do them today.
Okay. Sorry? Short today. Quick short today. I've had some side meetings that are requested for. So for how long can we extend today's conversations? We were supposed to stop at 4:30. The Tanzania team is planning to remain behind and plan for Bogota, and yet all residents are transported by one bus to their hotel. So these are the issues we can think about and see how to plan and make sure that everyone's concerns are addressed. So if we do it short and quick today, we do like 3 minutes per group. 5? Okay. So for Jen, her humble request is to get the details, and I think you can share your email. They can send and put me on CC so that I can be able to share the details. For Jen, she's capturing the notes. Even if you do it the short presentations, she would like to get the report. Okay. So yeah. Are you leaving it to me to decide? I decide. So we have about 14 minutes to 4:30. Let's try to use them briefly, 3 minutes per group to share the highlights. So let's time ourselves, and I will start with Hope's group to be the example. 3 minutes to tell us the highlights. You tell us the objective that you are discussing and the key highlights of your discussion, and then you share the details.
So anyway, 3 minutes, go. So we were looking at the appropriateness of the design of the learning initiative and the related implications for its effectiveness. I'm going to just pick and so one of the observations we made in the group was there's a need for consistency in language. So that's a general observation. We noted there was an interchanging in some of the statements between IIDC and then the learning initiative. So we need to be consistent there. We also noted that some of the collaborations among the partners are not well captured. So the report kind of gives an impression of IIDC as almost doing everything and does not demonstrate the collective efforts of partners. So there's a need to correct the tone of the report, particularly the that objective, and that is specific to page 19, the first and second paragraph. And then still relatedly, in terms of an area of modification and additions, the need to separate, to kind of make a clear distinction on IIDC and then the learning initiative. So still speaking to kind of the interchangeability of that. And then there was a very specific paragraph that on page 20, a paragraph where members recommended that we need to reward a sentence within the paragraph on page 20. I have noted it here, so maybe you look at it, but it speaks to the issue of fiduciary aspects. It was clear in all meetings that partners acknowledged the privilege of being members to the learning initiative at no cost to themselves. Well, we felt that this statement is a bit disempowering and felt that it needs to be rewarded. And then other recommendations need to again expound on the clear criteria for the composition of members in the learning initiative. How many should they be? What's the recommended number? How long should they be part of the learning initiative? And then there are very specific areas, revising the language on specific bullets. So bullet 6.1, and here the general comment was that the recommendations do not specify who should be doing what. So some of the recommendations are hanging, and yet when we look at them, some recommendations are specific to IIDC, some are specific to partners, and some are specific to partners. So probably the need to categorize them in that way to make it very clear. And then also consolidating the issues around data and documentation so that it's easy to reference because they are scattered across the recommendations. I'll stop here and share the rest written. I think my 3 minutes are done.
Thank you very much. I will go to the next group. Then we can have a final round of reactions if anything was not clear from an earlier group. Oh my God, Africhild, well done.
Purely coincidence. Group 2, I was looking at objective 2, and we looked at each platform that is highlighted there and made some recommendations. For example, in accessible technical support, we recommend that we provide more examples. If we are saying this is potentially the most influential platform, then we need to provide evidence. Otherwise, it would come at the end after looking at all the platforms, and then we conclude that after analysis, this was the most influential platform. The next one was improved data management, and the team felt that this is more of an outcome than a platform, considering how the others are framed. So we suggest that this doesn't have to stand alone. We include it as an example, or we expound on the technical support, categorize it in terms of 2 levels: technical assistance processes and then technical assistance topics or contents. So this was one of the either topics that were covered. There was also an issue where documentation is lacking, yet partners all felt it was one of the strongest aspects of support that they received. There are so many case stories from Bantwana and other partners that felt this needed to feature prominently. When it comes to peer-to-peer alliances, we need to give more examples. There's a table and bullet points, so we needed to expand on that to see what happened, how did it happen. So the examples should be elaborated more. Then there's the 2 key reflections, one around the cost to uptake and government demands for context. For example, when Fawe, Bantwana, and ICS models, when they tried to bring the models together in what would have been a great mix, it didn't work out because they didn't have the they didn't have enough resources to implement that. So we need to acknowledge some of those pitfalls that we have to be mindful of. The network, there's a statement that says the network has become a powerful platform for advocating for systemic changes. Here we felt we needed to provide an example as well, an example or evidence. What was the other? Effective engagement and enhanced partnerships. The recommendation is that partners felt that they already had their connections to government. So this statement presents it as though IIDC connected them to government. And so the suggestion is to flip the statement and acknowledge that while partners already had their connections to government, IIDC supported where connections didn't exist. Then page 32, cross-check the statement where Botswana collaborated with Boston University because they were not sure if this was the case, so need to be clear. Then add relevant examples that pertain to this specific initiative, if that Botswana example was from somewhere else. And then general comment, like the previous group, we're using IIDC and the Learning Initiative interchangeably. So do we want to focus more on what the initiative has achieved? Recommendations, our comments on the recommendations, where there's mentorship, we recommend that we also open it up to non-learning initiative member organizations who may have advanced systems of learning and all for opportunities for learning from outside the initiative without limiting it to peer-to-peer. Then we have introduced an inclusive and rotational management structure with IIDC playing more of a secretariat role as a member of the initiative. Consider formalizing, institutionalizing the initiative for sustainability. Examples that were suggested include paid membership, joint fundraising, include a budget window in the next grant for those that are negotiating the next grant to sustain the initiative. This budget window is from different partners contributing to the initiative. Then include post-convening follow-up, where people that attend the convenings are able to follow up some of these actions and cascade what they've learned within the organization. And then lastly, on knowledge management, dissemination, we suggest that we are intentional, we become intentional, the initiative is intentional in utilizing the existing platforms for partners to share learnings at regional and global level to allow for learnings from the East African context to feed into the global discourse and practice as well on Pvac. Thank you. That's all from group 2.
That was group 2. Group 3. Thank you, Albert.
I think we are looking at objective 3, which was looking at outcomes learning and impact of the learning initiative on the Pvac programming. We generally agreed with the findings, but we said some of the documents that can enrich the learning are missing. Haki Rima said they will share some of the documents that out of this initiative they have used to influence like government processes. So they said that would be good to enrich the document they will share. Then like other groups, we also talked about the language clause. We said there are some areas that need to be rephrased to improve on the language. Then we also talked about also the way it is written, it's like it is IIDC owned, yet from IIDC statement, it is pattern owned. So in terms of also improving who's the owner of the document, we thought that could also be rephrased so that the document looks as is inclusive of all the members of the initiative. Then we also discussed in terms of the recommendations. We said as part of the initiative, we need to drop a document that binds us together, maybe have like a strategic plan that defines us, clearly specifies our goals. Maybe that also could also specify how do members come into join the initiative, because we also observe that we are learning, but the learning is only limited to within us. Yet there are other institutions that are surrounding us that we could learn from them. So how do we open up that? We need to open that also, as well. It was a recommendation that can we open our learning beyond the members of the initiative, especially not focusing on Wellspring supported partners. Then we also talked about, at currently we are not yet sure whether out of this initiative there is community of practice. But I was trying to share that there is safeguarding community of practice which could have come from this learning initiative. So we said we need to strengthen the community of practice by maybe meeting regularly, like on a quarterly basis, but also make other initiatives around the community of practice, because it's a platform of different thematic areas that we can learn from. Then also we talked about having the focal person as for TA support. We said that could be limiting. Maybe we open it up so that then those who want to go for a particular focal person in the institution at IIDC can go, or those who want to say, I need to have a couple of people to work with, I'm able to work with them. Then the other thing we also talked about was the idea around the skills. We noted that as part of learning and training, there is a lot of members. Can we do a mapping of the skills initiative, skills within the members of the initiative, so that then as we support the mentoring, we are able to know who has the skills somewhere, so that it does not really have to say, this is the one to refer us, but we know already within the initiative, these are the skills where they are lying, and somebody can tap on from them. Then the other thing also we shared was that we have opportunities about donors and also governments looking at networks, especially as the funds are collapsing, are shrinking. Can we take this opportunity to tap into other donors so that, say, we are here, or influence all the other donors to kind of support this kind of initiatives of learning, but also be strategic? We noted that some of the work we have done, like influencing the governments, have been because there are individuals who are allies in government. So as we think about the continuity of this initiative, can we strategize so that these alliances in governments are part of the discussions, are part of our forums, and they are part of all our processes, so that when they go back to their own respective governments, they take our initiatives ahead. I think precisely those are some of the things we discussed.
Thank you very much for the feedback. We are going to collect the details from each group. You can kindly send to me. I think many of you know my email address. That will be very helpful. I don't know whether there is a burning reaction to any of the feedback that has been shared from another group. I really want to be careful not to take this beyond the acceptable end time. But if something is burning, I would be happy to address that. Alternatively, we can have another catch up very early in the morning before we start other discussion.
I forgot. I wasn't sure whether to skip this or leave it. It was one of the reflections from the group that as members of the initiative, we need to reflect on how we interact with the initiative. Are we owning it? Are we part of it? Are we passive members in it? So that's like a key reflection that cuts across. Thank you.
There was also another initiative that as part of the initiative, we are not homogeneous. We are coming from different backgrounds and we are different levels. So as IIDC, as interact with us, try to be much as open, understand our context, understand us, so that then you have that openness as you approach us. I think that was one of the things that came from the discussion, that sometimes you want to look at us as if we are on the same levels, as if we are on the same ground. There is need for you to understand that we are coming from different backgrounds as we interact with you.
Thank you. I think we really appreciate this strong feedback. We are going to use all of it to, modify and improve the report and finalize it. But most of the recommendations, we shall come back to them even tomorrow because they shape the future direction. Now, when Kathy was starting her presentation in the morning, she asked a question. Who has read part of the report? I don't know how many hands you had up, but if I am to ask right now, I get a feeling that almost all of us have now read part of the report. We appreciate the time you've invested into this. It was very important for you to at least pay attention. I've got some good feedback. Like one participant was walking in with me and said, "Oh, this is a very good report, very good information." So the time you've spent this afternoon was twofold. One, for you to, know what is in the report, but also the most important is for you to acknowledge that this is your information, and we appreciated the critique, and also to give us recommendations as a group on how we can shape this further. So with that, we've come to the end of today's discussions, and we want to say, oh yes, Mr. Ege, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you very much. Just to say thank you very much for this very constructive feedback to us. And I see the trend to really own this assessment, and I really am very happy for that. I just stood up to say that all the serious and substantial comments and feedback notwithstanding, I think we all appreciate that Kati and Heidi did a great job in a very limited time with very limited resources. And just to reiterate our thanks, I guess I'm speaking for all of you because tomorrow it will be really us. It will not be much, giving feedback, but building on the feedback. So this is our opportunity, Kati, to say thank you very much for bringing all your professional expertise and energies, and also helping take this forward, because building on this report, she's now with another colleague supporting some of our partners to really author journal articles. And that's taking our learning to a different level. So we appreciate her passion, which goes beyond just the consultancy, and look forward to growing this partnership. She's the author of an international journal, ISPCAN. We are targeting. She's not able to influence anything, but she's helping us to be able to navigate space. And in many other ways to promote the initiative globally in the spaces that she reaches. We appreciate that. And here you are going beyond being a consultant. You are being part of the field. So otherwise, I thank you all very much for this very intensive and constructive engagement, and look forward to tomorrow to answer the last question that I left this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Iga. I think all is said, and I just want to say we've come to the end of today's discussions. You're welcome for a cup of tea. And the Tanzania group, just announcements. Tanzania group, please remain behind around Mr. John Karaja and Mr. Kudeis Koine to talk about the plans for traveling to the Global Ministerial Conference on Ending Violence Against Children, the Bogota, visa arrangements and invitations and everything. The other participants who are residing at Golden Tulip City Center, the bus will be here very soon. So let's use between now and 5 o'clock to have a cup of tea, and also to have some brief side meetings before you can depart. So again, tomorrow we'll start at 9 a.m. here, and we go into different topic and discussion. Those who need to see me for whatever reason Rose communicated, I'm available because I'm sleeping here, so I will stay around the room so that I can be able to get maybe your boarding passes and naming. Members, is it okay with you that we have a group photo today or tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning when we are... Thank you very much. And I'm sure everyone is here tomorrow morning. No one is going to be... Okay, so thank you very much. So tomorrow morning, we will start with a group photo. Thank you very much. Okay, wish everyone an evening. Thank you for the hard work of the day. I sincerely, there's a suggestion that we can have one today and another one tomorrow, because when we are planning for these meetings, things change a lot in terms of how we dress on day 1 and day 2.
Recording stop.
We can have it